Hello, today we are going to learn about sea otters, and we are going to see how adult sea otters and baby sea otters do certain things in order to survive. Here is a way to organize your paper. On the top, write sea otters, since this is the animal we are learning about. Then, fold your paper in half to make a dent or crease in the middle. On one side, write adult, and on the other side, write baby. As you learn facts about the adult, write it on the adult side. And as you learn facts about the baby sea otters, write it on the side that says baby. Today I'm going to draw a sea otter and a baby sea otter, a mother sea otter and a baby sea otter. So first I'm going to start with a circle for the mother's head and an oval for the mother's body. So sea otters, when they are eating, they spend their time floating in the water. And sea otters are really amazing creatures because they are one of the few mammals that use tools just like us humans. So an adult sea otter would use a rock to crush open the food it is going to eat, because sea otters mostly eat shellfish. They'll eat clams, they'll eat mussels, and they will also eat crabs that they find. And since these animals have such thick shells, the sea otter needs to be able to use a rock to crush the clam or the crab or the mussel open. Now, the mother sea otter will make a little crib out of seaweed for its baby sea otter, so that the baby sea otter will not float away. Baby sea otters have such thick fur that they could float all on their own. But to keep them safe, so that they don't float away, the mothers will tangle them up into some seaweed to keep them safe. So there's my baby sea otter. Baby sea otters will drink their mother's milk, and then in the first 6 months, the mother and other adult sea otters will teach the sea otter how to dive under the ocean to get its own clams and mussels and crabs to eat. So the adult sea otters teach the baby sea otter all it needs to know to hunt and to survive and to get its own food. So even adult sea otters have very, very thick fur, and this helps keep them warm. Other sea animals or sea mammals have really thick fat that's under their skin that actually keeps them warm. It's like a thick blanket of fat under their skin. But sea otters don't have that. That's why they need to have very thick fur. And it is actually the thickest fur in the world. They are the animal that has the thickest fur in the world. And this is to keep them warm. And it is so thick that the water does not touch their skin. All that fur covers the top of their body, that very little water actually gets in and touches their skin. So I drew a clam for the sea otter to eat. And now I'm gonna draw a rock under the clam, because remember, the sea otters use the rock as a tool to crush the hard shells of the clams and the mussels and the crabs it eats. So it uses the rock and it will crush the clam against the rock so that it could crack open and they could eat whatever is inside. Now I know sea otters look cute and cuddly, but they actually have really, really sharp teeth. And they use these sharp teeth to fight off any other animals that might want to try to eat the sea otter. So it uses its tools to open the rock as a tool to open the food it wants to eat, and it could use its sharp teeth to fight off any animals that might want to eat the sea otter. So it has a way to protect itself too. And so the adult sea otters, they'll also teach the baby sea otters how to do this. Sea otters could actually hold their breath for 5 minutes when they dive underwater to get the things that they want to eat. So the baby sea otters are not the only ones that use seaweed to float and to stay in one place. So adult sea otters and young sea otters will hold hands and they will wrap themselves into seaweed so that they could hang out in a large group and float together as one large group. And these large groups, as they hold hands and use the seaweed almost as a rope to link themselves together, these groups are called rafts because they float like a large raft. A raft is a flat kind of boat. So the sea otters, they will hang out in large groups called rafts as they hold each other's hands and link each other together with seaweed. So, as I was saying from before, otters can also stay underwater for at least 5 minutes. And this is long enough for them to spend some time underwater and they look to see what they are going to hunt, and they will not rush into it. They'll watch what they are going to pick up, and that's why it takes a while for them to swim underwater, because they like to watch what they are going to eat, and then just at the right moment, that's when they'll swim and dive and catch their meal. A baby sea otter cannot dive underwater until it is about 3 months old. Like I was saying before, its fur is extra thick. It's even thicker than the adult's fur. And this will keep it floating in the water so much that it can't dive. That fur acts almost like one of those swimming tubes that will keep a kid above water or a baby above water. No matter what the baby sea otter tries to do, it won't be able to dive. And then around 3 months old, it will start to lose some of its baby fur so that the adult fur will grow on it and it will be less buoyant. That means it won't float as much. It will have to use its stomach to float on its back more, the way the adult sea otter does. And then it will learn how to dive underwater and search for food on its own. In the meantime, it will drink the mother's milk. And also as it gets closer to the 3 months, the mother sea otter will bring some food up from the ocean floor. And when it cracks the food open to eat itself, it will give a little bit of that food to the baby sea otters. So it starts to drink less of the mother's milk and starts to learn what the food it's going to eat for the rest of its life tastes like. Now, let's see. I'm going to just add some legs down here of the adult sea otter, since it's floating on its back, a little bit the way people float on their back in the ocean or in the pool. I'm just about to finish up here by coloring in these legs, maybe adding some toes, and adding in some water. So I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about sea otters and watching me draw one. Maybe you could draw one of your own. Take care.